All right, y'all. What's up? What's going on? Just want to jump on here and chat for a little bit about these two fights last night. Give me 1 second. Get this thing going. I mean, I ain't even gonna drop no music. I'm gonna just get this thing rocking here. Cause just wanna be on here for like 45. Got this dinner cooking tonight, so I'm ready to eat something. What's up, Tiago? BJ said Pierre with the bounce back. Oh, major bounce back. Major bounce back, man. I mean, disappointed, disappointed in Josephine Knutsson. I mean, this junk crazy, man. It's like, wow, yo, wow. Okay, hold on. Let me open this up. Oh boy, yeah. I mean, this is how it happens. This is how it happens. Sometimes you got to get that wake up call early. And Josephine Knutsson, big time, man, big time. I mean, I didn't expect it to be like that, but hey, when some fighters on that losing streak, and Pierre Rodriguez, she is a dog. That's one thing I won't knock about her. She's a dog, and she knows that. Look, even though she lost two in a row, her job could be on the line, right? And she came out with a rude awakening. I mean, the girl, like I said in the past, I've seen her. She brawls. She brawls. I don't really see her do one thing solid. Like she's not like a submission artist to me, or she's not really like this great striker. But man, whenever she came at Josephine Newsom and just kind of woke her up and rocked her in the first round, I was like, oh, I don't know if she's gonna be prepared for this, man. This is crazy, man. So that just kind of set the pace for the fight. Josephine Newton, I don't think she was really coming for a rough and rugged type of fight like that. Maybe she thought she could have controlled it and fought a more clean point style of fighting. But that's what kind of cost her. She wasn't really playing the counter striker. She just kind of played into the style of Pierre Rodriguez. And from there, I mean, it was just takedown after takedown. And I think that's what we all saw. Somebody needs to work on their takedown defense big time. I mean, yeah, Paul, that was disappointing to see, man. Like the takedown defense was just bad, man. I mean, I expected her to have better get up. Like she had some success on her back as far as like not being dominated, but it was really reminiscent of Marina Rodriguez. Like she wasn't open for submissions. Like it wasn't really scary, like, oh, she's gonna get submitted at this point, but she was getting controlled on her back. She was getting controlled. I mean, Pierre Rodriguez was shifting from side control, full mount, wherever she wanted to go. So every moment that she was on her back, I was like, this is just gonna be a waste of time right here because she's not active off her back. She wasn't doing anything to really throw Pierre Rodriguez off. Pierre Rodriguez was like amping up each round, even through that blood. Like, when did that cut happen? It happened in like second round, right? I just saw that blood pouring because I know when that opened up, I was like, okay, maybe she'll be able to work that cut. But again, Josephine Newton was just playing into this style of like dirty boxing on the inside. And when she would start trying to trade, Pierre Rodriguez was like, here we go. She would drop a level, take her down. So that was what I was expecting. That was what I was expecting after seeing that first round when Josephine Newsom's game plan was kind of disrupted. Like her rhythm was it was off. It was off whenever it was off when Rodriguez just came at her with this, brawl and maul style. So I think she just got to go back to the drawing board, man, and really work on her takedown defense. She has to work on that. And there was no jab again, man. Like, I sound like a broken record, but man, like you see these girls out here, they just ain't jabbing, man. Like Josephine Newton is a striker too. Like you would think she would throw some uppercuts up in there, man. When I was watching the other fight with what's his name? Got a knockout last night. What is his name? Woodson. It was Woodson versus hold on. What was it? Yeah, Woodson. Yeah, when Woodson was fighting Fernando, when they were up in there trading, I mean, Woodson was seeing the openings, you know what I mean? He came up with the middle of that uppercut and knocked Fernando out. So I'm like, where's the variety here? Where's the variety from Knutsson? She's not even like mixing it up on the inside to rock Rodriguez. She's just fighting it at her level. So that's what I saw from Knutsson. I saw her not really prepared for the dog. I didn't really see her prepared, takedown defense. And I saw her fighting to the level of her opponent, which is dangerous. I mean, we see Tyler Santos doing that. What's up, TJ? We see Tyler Santos doing that all the time, man, fighting at the level of her opponent or below. So, Knutsson, she's got to go back to the drawing board. It wasn't a clean fight like she wanted. Fights aren't going to be clean like this. She's got to get back in there and start working on like her, just her game plan, execution, man, because I didn't see her throw any, like, maybe like one or two push kicks here. As a Muay Thai fighter, she wasn't really like chopping Rodriguez down. Like Rodriguez, she was wide open, man. She was wide open for, some big shots, but she was just, again, Knutsson just not fighting to her high striking level, and people always, again, I'm going back to the strikers, Valentina, Manon, those point fighters, they may be point fighters, but they'll stick to a solid game plan. They don't fall into their opponents. Game plan. They stick to theirs. They adapt, they adjust. But Knutsson, she's gonna have to get a wake up call. I knew it was gonna come at some point. Like I was already kind of thinking, like, how is she gonna look against? Before this fight, I was like, how's she gonna look against somebody like Jillian? Like, I want to see her in there, Demopolis. one of them girls that's gonna take her down. But shoot, Rodriguez, man, she started off. Rodriguez was taking her down. Like, let me see how many takedowns did she score in this fight? I know she had like 6 by round 2, man. Hold on. Let me see here. All right, total number of strikes. Knutsson did land 67 out of 100 strikes. Rodriguez landed 85, so they were kind of tight there, which, yeah, Knutsson was landing some good shots on the inside. Like, her inside game wasn't bad, but it would only last for so long because Rodriguez would take her down. And that was her whole game. But look at that. 8 out of 10 takedown scored. 8 out of 10 takedown scored. And I think 6 of them were by round 2. Every time Knutsson would just get right up in there, she'd get taken down, just like that, man. So, yeah, takedown defense, her sprawl game, her jab, a lot of stuff that she needs to work on here, moving forward, because, Pierre Rodriguez, again, she's not the most solid, well-rounded fighter, but if she's losing to girls like this that just know how to dog her out and take her into a dog fight, she won't make it a top 15 like that. She won't make it a top 15, man. And it sucks, man, because I want to see some new straw weights, man. It's just like a lot of these straw weights, the talent gap isn't closing in like it is at flyweight. The talent gap is not the same, man. The talent gap here, a lot of girls are still getting schooled by the strawweight division. The strawweight division's most experienced and they're veterans, man. Like flyweight, you got girls coming in retiring people, But here, it's just not the same. It's just not the same right now. Pierre Rodriguez, she cracks that two fight losing streak. Let me see who she could fight. Did Denise Gomes, did she lose her last fight? That'd be an interesting fight. Denise Gomes, that would be a. Denise Gomes, I think, won her, didn't she? Yeah, she won. Yeah, she beat Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Yeah, maybe Karolina versus Pierre Rodriguez. Let her fight one of those fighters because I still think she's in need of experience too. So yeah, that would work. Yeah, because I was just looking through some of these pictures too, man. I was like, yeah, I see Josephine has some decent striking. She has some decent control in there. But Pierre Rodriguez was just too doggish for her, man. She was just too harsh, man. She came out throwing bombs on her, man. I was like, dang, man. I was like, whoa, okay. She rocked her in the first round. I was like, oh man. When she rocked Knutsson in the first round, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, she about to get a TKO right here, man, because when she hit her with that two-piece, Knutsson was kind of, stumbling. And then when she went down, I was like, okay, maybe she might recover. Then I saw her get hit with another shot. I was like, okay, the referee's looking close here. He might catch it. He might jump in and say, oh, I'm gonna save you here. But yeah, she made it out of there. But fought a spirited fight, but still needs a lot of work. Needs a lot of work in there. All right, let's see. Now Miranda, man, Miranda Maverick's fight, I will say, look, I'm glad she got the victory. She got the victory to me. I don't think it was like a, like a close fight, but I do think that it was harder. She made it harder than it should have been. And I'm glad that she sees the mistakes in it. And I'm glad that she wasn't happy with the performance. And she wasn't a fighter that was, like, oh, I did great and I was this, I was that. I'm glad she wasn't happy with it because I didn't think it was a very good performance by her. She started off looking pretty decent, as far as on the feet, but I think some of the choices made as far as trying to push the pace against somebody this big and strong, it didn't really go her way as far as being as dominant as it could have been. I think that Miranda had the striking. I think she had the overall stand-up game to pick her opponent apart here and maybe eventually kind of wear her down. But I think she wanted to push it and she wanted to go for a takedown early. She wanted to maul and maybe get a submission early. But like I said in the previous fight, when Horth fought Petrovic, she actually was doing well. Like Horth actually had some good submission defense, and she was actually kind of tricky too. She almost got Petrovic in an armbar, and I believe a rear naked in that fight. So her control off her back, and even her scrambles, and how quick she could just like reverse on Petrovic. It was impressive in that fight. So I kind of knew that Miranda Mack, her game plan would have been more so to a better game plan would have been to just kind of chop her opponent down. Because even though she's taller and longer, I thought that Miranda's got better striking. I know she has better striking here, even though she's shorter, because I saw her use it against longer fighters as of recently, because she was able to see a lot of the punches and kicks coming and make her miss, So I was like, okay, maybe if she sticks to this game plan and continues to land her left hand like she was doing and throwing the jab, as a southpaw, she could have some success there. But when she started to push it too much in the first round and go for this takedown, it was just like, I don't think this is going to work. Maybe you need to go back to striking a little bit, or maybe throw some elbows in the clinch and, kind of beat this girl up. But just trying to lock in for that level, it wasn't working. Just trying to lock in for that leg. I was like, I don't think Horth is going anywhere right now. She's not going anywhere. And carrying that energy into the second round, it was like, I don't know. Like her takedown. Now Horth, her takedown defense was good. Hers was good for the most part. It was, of course, better than Knutsson's. That's why I was like, the way she's posted up on this cage, she's not going down. She had the strength and she had the technique down. But I think Horth started to kind of take over in the second round a little bit. She had some success there. Even had the little, I won't say submission scare, but she did have the back of Miranda. I wasn't really thinking that Miranda's going to get submitted there because, Miranda's grappling is pretty good. Like, seen her in like some rough spots before, even like with Aaron, but she's able to like, transition real quick and get out. But you don't really want to be in them situations moving forward, especially like I said, Horth isn't really that bad on the ground. Like, she's not awful, I'm looking at these numbers right here. Your strike numbers were pretty close too, because Horth did land a few combinations of her own. It was like 63 to 111. Miranda had 61 to 117. So those numbers were tight. But thing that won her the fight, of course, was more so the cage wrestling and the pressing, right? And the takedown attempts. she only got two out of 9 takedowns. That's not that good. And Horth got one. So yeah, I can definitely see why Miranda wasn't happy with the performance. I felt like it was kind of flat. I don't want to say flat, but it was more so forced. Yeah, it definitely wasn't flat because I don't think Miranda's like cardio was off, or I don't think like her punching power was off, or like her timing was off. I think it was more forced. Like she wasn't flat. Like she was in the fight, like she was awake, but forced as in, just trying to get it done, I think. And, Horth is a big, durable fighter, may not be the sharpest technically, but she's big and, she's durable. So trying to force her down and get her down, I just didn't see that happening after at the end of the first round. So I can definitely see why she's not happy with the performance, because I didn't think it was a very good performance. I mean, she got the victory, so that's good. That's 4 in a row now. So, she can go back to where she wanted to be, and that's try to get a top 15. Yeah, I saw Casey O'Neill posted up on IG. Casey O'Neill said she wanted to fight the winner of this fight. She was like, I want to fight the winner of the Maverick Horth fight. Miranda was asked about it. I posted up the interview. She was asked about it, and I think she said that, she's trying to move past, of course, Tracy Cortez, because she said Tracy Cortez said that she, of course, turned down the fight. But 4 days later, Tracy Cortez said she was ready to fight again, but it was like she didn't want to fight Miranda. So I guess that kind of made Miranda mad. So, like, which is it, right? First Cortez is out. I know she had surgery or something, but she said a few days later she was ready to fight again, but it wasn't going to be Miranda. So that is kind of weird. So she said she's moving on from that fight. She don't want to waste time and fight Tracy Cortez again, right? So she said, I think from 10 through 15, I think 4 people turned a fight down with her. Of course, she said Casey O'Neill turned down a fight with her 2 times. Of course, Cortez. She didn't name some of the other people, but she did say that 3 or 4 people from 10 through 15 didn't want to fight her. So she wants to fight Andrade now. I mean, that to me, that's a good call out for Miranda. She said, if I can't get any of these other ranked fighters that want to fight, from 10 through 15, give me Jessica Andrade, who is, let me see. Where's Jessica? Yeah, Jessica Andrade is number 8. I mean, that's even higher, right? There's Arujo, who's number 9. She didn't say Arujo turned her down. Arujo's been out, a few times, but Arujo just made her comeback against Karine Silva. But I kind of think they might do something with Arujo as far as fighting Rose or Macy, man. I think they might try to put her in there with one of them fighters next. So Miranda calling out Andrade, to me, that's doable. Think about, Andrade. I know some people try to base this performance off of this. They'll base this Horth performance off what she would look like against Andrade. I don't think so. I think that's 2 different fights. I actually think Andrade is a winnable fight for Miranda at this point. Again, kind of looking at the size and the strength of both fighters, and the grappling skills of Miranda. Her takedowns I feel like her takedowns are much better against, smaller, compact fighters like Andrade. She can get fighters like that down that don't have a high IQ, so that's a winnable fight for her. She has pretty good distance management now. She was able to outstrike and make Priscilla Cachoeira miss, who's big and has a lot of power. And she was able to get her down. What's up, Marcus? She was able to get her down and submit her. So I think Andrade kind of falls in that same category as Cachoeira. Yeah, I think she could get her out of there, So that's a doable fight. If nobody else wants her, like she said, Casey O'Neill. Well, now Casey O'Neill says she wants it, right? So the matchmakers might try to do that fight. I think they'll either do Andrade or Casey O'Neill, so we'll see. Because matching up with Andrade again, I think that she could control the outside. I just have to really worry about Andrade's power and stay away from them right hands. But even then, with Andrade swinging wild, I think she has the ability to get a takedown and even submit her. I definitely think she could. Definitely think she has a grappling skill to submit Andrade at this point. Andrade's really not up on her ground game like she used to be. But that's all in if Jessica, wants to fight that low at this point. And if she doesn't, that leaves Casey O'Neill open or Ariane Lipsky. So yeah, wasn't the best performance, but I think moving forward, there's some other good fights out there for her. Sometimes it seems like it's hard for some of these fighters to get to show up, show that high performance, in these unranked fights, especially when they're prepared for like a ranked fighter, so and Styles, like I said, Horth, she wasn't really just game to be taken down. She's not a weak fighter like that, so it wasn't going to be that pretty with that type of style that she was trying to push on her. But yeah, if you fight somebody like Andrade, maybe, fight somebody like Casey O'Neill, you might be able to take her down a little bit easier, so those are some fights I'd like to see her in next. So yeah, I definitely agree with her though. That wasn't a performance that you want to brag about. And, with her seeing it as a bad performance, should force her to say, okay, this is what I got to do to get better. Because watching that performance, though, definitely makes me say you're going to struggle with some of the top five. You'll struggle with fighters if you ever get to a fighter like Manon. You'll struggle with big girls like that who strike and have good takedown defense and can take you down. Those big girls like that will be problems. Even somebody like Arujo could be a problem. Her ground game is underrated. She's a black belt. I mean, when Viviane Arujo chooses to, she chooses to wrestle or grapple with you, man. Like that junk is kind of scary sometimes, man. She starts putting that strength on these girls. So I think that would be a good test too. Viviane Arujo, like if she can't get on Andrade, Arujo's number 9. That would be a good fight for Miranda Maverick. So any of those fights right there, if somebody takes them. All right, but let me see here. What else? Well, that's the last card of the year, right? That's the last card of the year. Nothing else. Let me see. Paul said Lucindo and Lemos is a thing. Yeah, it's a fight. It's a scheduled fight. It's scheduled for next year. I believe February, something like that. So that's going to be a good matchup to see how far. We'll see how far Amanda Lemos has fallen, maybe, or if she's missed, or she's gained a step, or she's still missing a step. Yeah, March. Yeah, Lucindo and Lemos is in March. And we'll see if Lucindo has stepped up her striking. But, that might be a fight that's winnable for Lemos after looking at some of the hiccups in Lucindo's striking. Tiago said, who do you think is next for Rose? I think for Rose, it could be Arujo. I think Arujo might be a name for Rose. Rose drops to number 6. Arujo could be a name for her. Would they give her the Macy Barber fight again? Maybe. But with Macy Barber being number 4, that would put Rose back in there with another top 5. So the question is, does she deserve that? Does Rose deserve another top 5 fighter? Macy might want it though. And if Macy wants it, I think they'll give it to her, because I don't know if she wants to fight Aaron. She talks about Aaron a lot, but she still ain't calling her out, right? So I think either Arujo or Macy could be a fight for Rose, depending on what direction they want to go with her. Let her fight up or fight down. I really like to see her fight Andrade again, though. Do that third fight, because I think that's really kind of it for both of them at this point. Is Andrade number 3? No, Andrade's like number 8. Yeah, Jessica Andrade's number 8 right now. But let's see. yeah, that's it for the rest of the year. Ain't no more fights this year. Maybe I'll jump on live maybe Tuesday and just talk about some of these other fights that happened this weekend too. I know I got to go back and watch some of that Invicta. And I saw Jennifer Maia win the title. Jennifer Maia won her title. Second title she's won at, let's see. Yeah, it's her second title she's won at Invicta. She's won the 135 title now, and she's won the 125, before she came into the UFC. Yeah, Rose on draw 3. Yeah, that's a fight I want to see. Yeah. Tiago says, so if she fights Rose, who's next for Aaron? She will fight down probably Natalia Silva, because Natalia Silva's number 5. Seems like nobody really wants to fight Natalia Silva. I don't really hear her name brought up, even though she is a top 5 fighter now. She's on a clear cut win streak. Nobody really brings her up. Yeah, Barber in the interviews didn't bring her up. I haven't really heard anybody bring Natalia Silva up, but hey, she's coming. She's coming. So hey, I already see it like this. Aaron Macy, that's a good fight, but don't be surprised if Natalia's going to fight one of them, because Natalia's going to fight up from here. Natalia's number 5. She just beat Andrade. She deserves to fight up from here. That's all that can be said about that at this point. Natalia Silva deserves to fight up. She's the most proven now. She's the next threat. Title shot is already on lock. Shevchenko Fiora next. So I think that either Aaron or Macy, if they're not scheduled to fight each other, they better be ready to hear Natalia Silva is your next opponent. Is Natalia Silva the same Natalia who fought Marina Rodriguez? You mean physically? Like, are you saying is she a new fighter, a fighter from her? Or are you just asking if it's the same one? Because it is the same Natalia Silva. Yeah, Natalia Silva. That's the same Natalia Silva that lost to Marina Rodriguez a few years ago. It's the same one. She's she was a strawweight then. Yeah, that's the same one. But yeah, she's made a big change, after a little period off. She started making some changes, and her technique, and that's what I'm saying. Like, her team, they were able to exploit some really solid things about her. Like, they got her moving in a different way. I feel like Tyler Santos needs somebody like that. Tyler Santos, she needs a team that's going to put her in a different realm. Like, when you look at him, like, man, that's a different fighter right there. Like, you want to see somebody just say, wow, like, this fight is totally different. Like, whatever her team is doing for her, as far as, bringing out her strengths, that's what they need. Like, Tyler Santos, she needs somebody like that, man. Because Natalia Silva, she clearly lost to Marina Rodriguez for it. She clearly lost. So whatever change she went through, that's the kind of change that she needs. That's the kind of change that Tyler Santos needs moving forward. Because even when she was in the UFC, she was good, but it always seemed like she was still holding back. And then that Dakota fight, man, that was just like a totally timid, unprepared, lackluster Tyler, It was. But I definitely think that Natalia Silva, she will be getting one of these names. She's going to get somebody over her. I know that. Like, that wouldn't be right to give Natalia Silva anybody below her, no, not at this point. Rose, I think in her position, she could fight somebody lower than her right now, coming off that loss to Aaron. But Natalia, definitely expect to see her name to fight Aaron, Macy. I would love to see her fight Grasso, but Grasso is out right now, broke that leg. I don't know whenever she'll make her return. Six, what's up, man? I'm about to jump off here in a minute. I just want to come on here and get my thoughts on these two fights, though. Yeah, overall, I think Josephine Knutsson, I think she's still a good striker, but from what I'm seeing, she's kind of going down that. She could go. I ain't gonna say she's going down that path, but this could be the start of that path, like you see Marina Rodriguez. If the takedown defense ain't good, we're going to start getting bullied in there and just taken down. Like you can only if you're not really going to commit to power on the feet or counter striking, you got to have the takedown defense, because if you ain't going to commit to that, you're going to get taken down. And if you don't have great ground game, if you can't roll like that, a lot of these girls with half decent ground game, they're going to try to exploit that and bully her. So I need to see her throw her jab more in these fights too, man. Like, don't just go in there and submit to your opponent's game plan. That's kind of what she did. She just fought down to a scrappy level here and kind of ignored her technique, man. Like, she's more cleaner with it, but she just didn't fight that clean fight. So her takedown defense is a must. Takedown defense and just ground game, period. That's a must for Knutsson. For Miranda, I definitely want to see Miranda in there with the top 10. Or excuse me, top 15. Anybody from 8 down. Somebody finally answers that call. Let's see if Casey O'Neill gets it, though. Andrade fight, that's not bad, though. It's definitely not a bad fight. Marcus said during Natalia's hiatus from MMA, I remember she was training on one leg. Yeah. Yeah, that'll make anybody tough right there. So training on one leg, come back with 2. She should be, unstoppable, right? But yeah, her style, though, when Natalia Silva, like her style, the way it is right now, I could definitely see a lot of girls having trouble with it and not wanting to call her out for good reason. But you better understand she's coming. She's the next one here. All right, y'all, but let me get up off of here. Just wanted to talk about these fights here real quick. And yeah, I'll probably jump on again next week, a little early during the week. And then I'm going to start wrapping it up, talking about some of 2024, see what's going on. But yeah, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.